Hi everyone, turn 53. Let's see, so we got a throne claim for Throne of Knowledge. I think that's Relay. Some summons. I don't think I found anything with any of these site search rituals. Oh, I found something with Voice of Tiamat. Akashic Record, so I do have score graphs on Relay. Let's go ahead and look at those. So we see here that I actually have a bigger empire than Relay. They have a couple more forts than me. But their income, like, we were just neck and neck for about half the game, and then they just took off while mine remained stagnant. Which probably just because of growth scales, I guess. I only have one growth scale, and they presumably have three. Gem income, this is not counting Arcane Nexus, I'm sure, is actually pretty comparable. And research. So again, we were about the same for about 2/3 of the game through the turn 30s, and then they just went off. Which, I mean, kudos to them. Well played. They've just been doing an absurd amount of research. They're the ones that have Arcane Nexus, in case that wasn't clear. I guess around then feels like when they got the Forge of the Ancients, so maybe they just researched Con 7 and then started forging like mad. Dominion, they've got a lot more candles, that makes sense. Ind has a conflict bonus. And then army size, I do tons of crossbreeding, so it makes sense that I'm just going to be way ahead there. And then ascension points. So that's just interesting information for me of basically, like, as soon as I started fighting Asphodel, all of my stuff kind of plateaued. Making some gains, as you've seen, but definitely that was a poor long-term move. Nothing else noteworthy over here. Arcosphale, Prophet, Agartha, Prophet. I think both of them are AI controlled anyways. AI Shiniyama tried to assassinate me. Did not go well. Here we have Banderlog's Doom. Oh no, this is Banderlog's Thug. So he's gonna get a couple of horrors and we'll see how he likes it. Let's see, what has he done? Ethereal, which does nothing versus horrors. Blessing, Mistform also, and then Astral Shield. So yeah, he's I don't think he's going to be very happy next turn. In Alicia, so here is cannibals for free, fighting a small crew, and he's just gonna rip them up despite his HP penalty. Yeah. Total protection is 26 post buffs. And here is my northern crew. So now we've got the drakes in the middle. And one of the drakes got left behind. But overall, we managed to avoid friendly fire pretty well. Oh yeah, no friendly fire at all. If we go ahead, they're going to patrol there because this place actually has supplies. Unlike in Suthu or Kishia. Or Kishia has supplies, but that's too far east. So we'll aim to spend only one turn in Suthu before going to Ungbeloth. And go ahead and knock these forward just a little bit further with the goal of avoiding friendly fire as much as possible. AI does not like 37 fire drakes. Asphodel attacked me in Typhalia. So look at this. We've got on my side some PD, that Cockatrice, and Money. Money has a third of his HP taken away. And on their side, there's all this random ass crap. bunch of dead horses, elephants, some black centaurs, panic apostates. So one of the things I want to see is how many of his buffs he gets off before they get to him. And the PD actually helped quite a bit because that let him finish his entire script before the centaurs got him. Any of these guys holy threes? I don't even know. How do you bring a black servant into combat? So ridiculous. Oh, I want to kill this guy. Because he's got a ring of sorcery. That would be a hell of a prize. I obviously, I can't actually loot the ring of sorcery because money is all full up on gear, which is kind of sad. But yeah, post buffs, he's sitting at 21 protection. He's got fire shield and 20% regen. He's also got the Mask of the Vampire. And these guys just can't touch him. If a bunch of Minotaurs or Black Centaurs were to hit him all at once, they could overwhelm his protection and, rush him down. But, and his defense is 6 right now because he's entangled. He's getting entangled a lot, which is awkward because he should have the strength and the MR to avoid it. So, he's still able to attack while he's entangled. And once he breaks free from the entanglement, his defense is back up to 26, which is just insane for someone who's completely surrounded like that. Alright, what are these things? Can't catch them. Here we go. Fungal Mass. Life Drain Tentacle, 23 armor piercing damage. That's actually pretty fucking scary. That said, they do have low prot. There's not that many of them, and their attack skill is on the lower side. I'm really glad I opted to give money to shields because that means that he can entangle those guys before they just drain all his life. He's continuing to chop up a square and then some every turn. That scepter is so good. So I'll go ahead and spare you the details. The result was that we did a lot of killing, and 197 of it to be specific, and a total of 400 of them died. Only half the Black Centaurs, but lots of other random chaff and shit. That's just what you had to do versus a free spawn nation, is get lots of their chaff burnt up. Riga Joe attacking Tartary. Me clearing out those birds with shitty foul spawn. And this is the Banderlog army. So, you saw this last turn, but here's just an update. We'll see if there's any script changes. Again, my guys were just told to run away. So these guys are moving slowly. They're all blessed. I think there's still no... there's just the one Kanara. And what did he cast? He cast some basic spells. He doesn't even have any gems with him. Skuru. He's got a multi-part script before he starts doing that stuff. He's doing Empower Magic Beings to try to buff up their chariots and Gandharvas. He throws down a Divine Wrath. I don't know why he quickened himself. Maybe that's just an off-script thing. Divine Channeling, which gives plus holy to all of the other holies. Iron Skin the Communion, that makes sense. And then he actually does Enslave as his third and fourth move. He's burning up his friends. That's hilarious. I guess they have resistance enough to not worry about it. Communion Slave. Yeah, so these guys are doing like one spat of Body Ethereal and then Slave. I think 6. He just does Mind Burn right away. Okay. A 7. Trying to count how many are doing a slave. 8. 9. He probably does it after, yeah, 10. Guys doing Mind Burn. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So he has 17 dudes spamming Enslave. Which, if we look at his whole, and I probably missed like a couple, say a nice even 20, especially since some of the other guys will start doing Enslave off script. I think he's going to burn his communion out. 20 masters and 20 slaves is not a good ratio. Granted, having the master and the slave have the same paths is an advantage, but they're still taking double fatigue from all these other masters. And I don't think that they have that much reinvig. I don't even know if the Earth guy even cast Earth Power to give reinvigoration to the communion. So that's an option as well, is to basically just I might end up, so I have supply problems, so I'm sending a bunch of less effective crap out of here. So here, this is a bunch of like leopards and stuff, and basic foul spawn with tentacles and bites. Here we've got some of the green lions, which are these are among the weaker ones, and these brown lions, and then here we've got more of those same bad foul spawn. So just escorting those out of town, but that might also be an option for me to first attack the communion with just a bunch of bad spawn to give him a morale boost, because he'll be like, oh look, I killed so many dudes. But they'll spam a lot of Enslave, and I might be able to burn out the communion that way. The flip side is that it gives him more chaff for his army, which I don't like. Choices. I don't have to make that choice this turn. I'll just get these guys over here. The other thing that I can do is I can cut off retreat with them. Of course, that only matters if he actually wants to retreat, which he might not. So, we will see. We will see. Why am I sending you there? Send you there, actually. Oh no, you have to go there. You... yeah. So, something to think about. I definitely do want to burn out this communion. Even if I lose the big army battle we've got planned, if I can burn out the communion, then this army is the dead man walking. And then picked up this fort. Had a bit more casualties, but nothing horrible. Although definitely more than I had in mind. Bunch of dryads came after me, so I'm sending a bunch of kitties after them. Patrolling, got caught over here. I got caught by still 1,000 dudes. Ridiculous. I definitely don't want to face this whole army with anything except for a super combatant. Fortunately, I have two. And that's the rest over there. Continuing to summon up here, just getting more drakes. And this guy is bringing some wine for all these drakes to chug. I don't ask questions. Leaving these guys here for a turn to meet up with some more mages. Get the communion nice and strong again. Anything else worth noting? Oh yeah. Sending surprise lions over here. Surprise lions are eventually going to be caught, but they're hilarious and I had lions to spare. The actual mage is kind of useful, but meh. And then I'm going to have custom kitchen deliveries also go ahead and cause trouble around here. Overall, they've got a high amount of fort density. They didn't fort around their capital, which makes sense because they want max resources for recruiting good harvests. Other than here in Olifa, they forted. But every single one of these places is forted, which is scary, just because these guys are all cranking out more communion slaves. That said, actual infantry are harder for them to recruit than communion slaves, interestingly enough, just because of the cost considerations. Like, they pay for their actual good troops with astral pearls, and they're only going to have so many of them. So, yeah. Alright, I think that covers it for turn 53. So, we'll go ahead and watch the situation here in the Banderlog Arena on turn 54. See you then.